Okay, let's read this article. Um, this article has been published in an NPR site. The title: COVID-19 may never go away with or without a vaccine. The article was published in August 9, 2020. Let's start. Humans have never been particularly good at eradicating entire viruses, and COVID-19 might not be any different. More than 90 million people have tested positive for COVID-19 globally, and at least 722,000 have died. In the USA, nearly 5 million people have tested positive and more than 160,000 have died. While scientists are racing to find a cure for the virus, there's a chance COVID-19 will never fully go away with or without a vaccine. But this doesn't mean everyone will have to self-isolate forever. Dr. Vince Manacuri, a coronavirus researcher at the University of Texas Medical Branch, told NPR Weekend Edition that one of the more likely scenarios is that the spread of COVID-19 will eventually be slowed as a result of herd immunity. He said he'd be surprised if we're still wearing masks and 6 feet distancing in 2 or 3 years. In that time, the virus could become no more serious than the common cold. Interview highlights on why it is so hard to eradicate this virus. The first thing to remember is that we haven't been successful at eradicating many viruses at all. Really, the lone exception is smallpox, but many of these viruses exist not only in the human populations, but in the animal populations. So, coronaviruses may be removed from the human population like SARS coronavirus in 2002, but we know that those viruses or viruses that are similar to it still exist in nature, and at any time they may gain the tools to reemerge in humans again. On the outlook for COVID-19 immunity as more people are exposed to the virus. So it is still up in the air. COVID-19 is really unique in a couple of different ways. One, like the common cold coronaviruses, it spreads very easily, but unlike those, this causes the severe disease. What we know about the common cold coronaviruses is that the immunity to those don't actually stay that long. So what is not clear is if immunity will wane over time, and that in 2 or 3 years we could be exposed and get this virus again, similar to how you could get the common cold coronavirus every few years. On the other end of that, viruses like SARS or MERS, if you get those infections and you overcome them and you recover, generally your immune response lasts a long time. So what we don't know with COVID-19 is which of these two poles it may end up at. On what he predicts for the future for COVID-19. He'd be surprised if we're still wearing masks and 6 feet distancing in 2 or 3 years. I think that I think the most likely outcome is that we will eventually get to herd immunity. The best way to get to herd immunity is through a vaccine in some certain populations who have already been exposed or will be exposed. And then the expectations I had is that this virus will actually become the next common cold coronavirus. What we don't know with these common cold coronaviruses is if they went through a similar transition period. So, take something like OC43, which is a common cold coronavirus that we was originally from cows. It's been historically reported that there was an outbreak associated with the transition of this virus from cows to humans that was very severe disease. And then, after a few years, the virus became just the common cold. So, in 3 to 5 years, it may be that we're still getting COVID-19 in certain population of people, or every few years, but the expectation is hopefully that which will just be a common cold, and it's something that we can just each deal with, and it won't lead to hospitalization and the shutting down of society. Sophia Bolt and Martha and Overland produced and edited the audio version of the story. story. So this article talk about the expectations of the spread and cure of coronavirus in the entire population of the world. According to this text, seems clear that uh, uh, although we have a vaccine, it's probably in the future that the coronavirus come to stay in the human population, and the expectation is in 3 or 5 years that the coronavirus become a common cold, like other virus, or the influenza, like influenza in the population, because do the herd immunity, the population will be immune 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 be will become immune to this virus due the or exposition from to this virus directly getting the disease, or receiving a vaccine. But the first option is more probably than the creation of a vaccine. But the many teams around the world is working right now to discover effective vaccine to apply to humans. But until this time, any of this thing uh, get a, a consistent result, a consistent vaccine that can be used in humans. But this is the uh, this is the end of the reading of this article.